Hi, Wade. Can you make me a co-host?
All right. There you go.
Hello.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Welcome. And Danya, how are you? Welcome. There you go. Hi, Danya.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Welcome to the class.
Thank you.
Hi, Mary.
Hello.
Hey, good to see you again.
Yep. So how's the weather in North Carolina?
It's sunny but cool. It's down in the it's in the 50s yesterday. It's in the low 60s today, which is actually I'm good with that.
Yeah. We're supposed to get that tonight down here in Central Florida, but we at least got some rain. It's been very dry the last few weeks.
It's same here, and we got less than a quarter of an inch, so we still need rain.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, we still need rain here in Oregon too.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know you ever needed rain in Oregon.
Oh yeah. Last year we had terrible fires here in the
That's
Portland area.
right. That's right. You did. Oh.
They're already worried about it.
I'll be glad there's no such thing as climate change. It makes me feel much better.
Yeah, really.
It's all a figment of our imagination. Right?
It's up. Yeah.
Hey, Suraj, how are you? Welcome. And let's see, Lynn, hi.
Hi.
Welcome. Somebody's 15153. I can rename you if you like.
My name is Selena.
Selena. Okay, let me rename you Selena. And can you spell that for me so I make sure I get it right?
Yep. S-A-L-E-N-A.
Selena. All right. Spelling is not my strong suit. Oops. Now what happened? I got the wrong person, did I? I did. I renamed, hang on. Sometimes it jumps on me as I'm clicking.
Yeah.
So let's put you back. And let's try this again. There, I think I got the right one this time. There, that looks better. Hey, Emin, welcome back.
Hey, wait.
Get off. Get my light on here. There, that'll help. Okay, that's better. Let's see, is anybody else come in? I think that's. Oh, there's Elaine. We should have several other people coming in. I'll get Elaine in. Hi, Elaine. Welcome. Her audio is still connecting. I'm going to go ahead and start getting everything turned on and ready. It'll take me a minute or two, and then we'll start the class. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. And so you should be seeing my slides. I'm moving your pictures over to my other monitor so I can see you over here. All right. Okay, there we go. And looks like everyone is muted right now, but I just want to let you know that I may have to mute again during the course of the class if we start picking up any background noise. So just always remember to check your mic before you ask a question and make sure you are unmuted. If you're not, just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question. You don't need to raise your hand or anything. Just unmute and ask away. And let me open the chat as well. So in case anyone is having problems with their microphone, you can use the chat. All right. And that is now open. And John from our Get Set Up TA team is here to help me monitor the chat and also help manage the class. So thanks, John, for joining us. Appreciate your help. But if your microphone is working, please just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question. That way everyone else can hear your question and I will hear it on a timely basis to get you an answer. Hi, Stephanie. I see you came in there. All right. Welcome to you as well. Okay. All right. So we usually wait 4 to 5 minutes to give it. Oh, hey, Carol. So you're here too. Welcome. Got some more people coming in as well. So that's great. But I'm going to go ahead. Oh, there's Carol. And get started. Let me just check these people off the list. So Margaret is coming in and Janet. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We got a lot to cover today. And so let's go ahead and start. I'll officially open the class. This is OneDrive Basics. Hopefully everybody's in the right place and that I'm teaching the right class. I do want to thank you for joining and hope you enjoy the class. My name is Wade Yarbrough and I'll be the guide for your class today. A little about my background. I was born and raised in a small town called Mason, Tennessee, just outside of Memphis, Tennessee. I got my undergraduate degree in psychology down at Mississippi State and then went up to University of West Virginia to get my doctorate degree. And I've taught psychology off and on throughout my career, but spent most of my career designing, installing, and training users on healthcare information systems, primarily in hospitals. Because I did have a minor in information systems so I've kind of always bounced back and forth between technology and psychology. I've done a lot of adult training, and but what I love about Get Set Up is I get to teach people that are in the class because you wanted to be in the class and signed up for the class, not because your employer made you sit through the training. Several other people have joined us here. Thank you all for joining as well. We're going to have a nice size class today. That's great. I'm going to have to move my pictures over to so I can see everybody. There we go. I can see you now. So what we try to do at Get Set Up is to create an environment where you can take classes that you're interested in and be in the class with other people that are interested in the same topic, hear each other's questions, even interact with each other as well as interacting with the guide. We try to make it a very comfortable, interactive type of environment so people are willing to ask questions. That's why we ask people to turn their cameras on if they don't mind. That makes it feel a little bit more social, but it certainly is not required if you want to leave your camera off. We are live streaming the class today, and I do want to welcome anyone that's joining the class by live stream. Hope you enjoyed the class as well, but the only way to get the full Get Set Up experience I just described, where you can interact with the other learners and ask questions, is to go to our website and register for the class. And the class is being recorded today, and any participant can request a copy of that recording. And to do that, just send an email to help@getsetup.io. And I'm going to put, John already has that in the chat. If you look in the chat, if you don't have that email address in your email contacts, go ahead and copy that from the chat and put that in your email. We'll talk about some other ways you may want to use that during the closing slides at the end of the class. And finally, Get Set Up is not paid to promote any of the products we train on. We are purely trainers. So let's cover the agenda for today. We're going to start at a very high generic level and kind of drill down into the more concrete as we go through the class. So some of the terms and concepts may feel a little unsure at first. Hopefully by the end of the class, it will make a lot of sense. But we're going to start talking about what cloud drives are and how they work generically. Then we'll drill down into OneDrive as an example, and we'll show you multiple ways to access OneDrive, help you understand how to add files to OneDrive and take files out of OneDrive, and then how to manage and share files using OneDrive. So let's start with cloud storage. And most of you probably remember back before there was such a thing as cloud storage and all we had was our computer. So if I was going to sit down and type a letter and save it, it would save it on my computer that was physically attached. Or maybe I would put it on way back when a floppy disk, later a thumb drive or something else. But everything had to be physically attached to that device. We were kind of tethered to the physical device. And what the cloud has done is broken that link. Now I can sit here at my computer and create a document and save it in the cloud. And it is now available for me to access from other locations and on other devices. And it's available for me to share with other people. And we're going to talk about how all that works. Of course, the cloud isn't really a cloud. It is a big data center from whoever is providing your cloud storage services. So my information is stored on one of these hard drives, accessed by one of these computers, managed by a team of IT professionals. There are 4 predominant cloud storage vendors in North America. Dropbox was one of the original pioneers. You've probably heard of Dropbox, and a lot of you have probably used Dropbox. It was the first one. After a while, the major software vendors also added cloud storage to their suite of products. Google Drive for Google products, iCloud for Apple products, and OneDrive for Microsoft products. So the 3 main vendors out there now all have cloud storage systems. And as always, if you have questions, please just unmute and ask your question or make your comment as we're going through. So let's talk about the benefits of cloud storage. Everybody's doing it, so there must be some good reasons to do it. And there are really 3 main reasons or 3 main benefits of cloud storage. One is it saves space on your device. If I'm storing everything on my laptop, I eventually we're going to fill up the hard drive on my laptop, and I either have to go in and delete a bunch of stuff or find some other way to deal with it. If I'm storing my files in the cloud instead of on my device, I have essentially unlimited storage available to me. So it really opens up the amount of information you can store. You can share and collaborate on documents with others. So if I sit down here on my laptop and I create a document and it's stored in the cloud, and I want to share it with you and you're across town on your desktop, if I give you permission, you can go up here and access that file. You can do whatever I've given you permission to do. Maybe that's to copy it, or maybe that's to edit it. But you can have multiple people accessing the same document at the same time, which is kind of what collaboration is. And then the third thing is you can get access to your data from pretty much anywhere you are on any device that you've got. So for example, if I create that letter here on my laptop and it's stored in the cloud, I can access it from my desktop. I can access it from my phone. If I go out of town and I'm at a hotel and I go down to the lobby of the hotel, I can go to their computer and access my data through a web browser. So pretty much anytime I can get to a device that has a web browser on it, I can get to my data. Huge, huge benefit. You pretty much always have access to your data. Questions about any of those 3 benefits? And I'll show you how that works, but just what they are. Okay. There's 2 terms that we need to talk about, and you need to understand this is where some people get themselves in trouble with cloud storage. The first one is backing up. This one you should be familiar with. We've been doing this since we had our first computers. Backing up means to take a point-in-time copy of your files and put them somewhere in a safe place for storage. So if I'm backing up my laptop to some other storage spot, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, how that can work. And something happens, I lose my laptop, the hard drive crashes, I can go to my backup and restore my files. I've got a gap in time typically, so from the time I backed it up until I restore it, anything that I've done is lost, but it's better than losing everything. So once I take that point in time backup, it's never touched again. It just sits there in case I need to restore it to my device. And you can back up into the cloud. So that backup could be in a cloud storage system as well. Most of them are now. Carbonite is one of the most popular pure backup providers. And in that case, I'm backing up my files in the cloud in their data center. Syncing looks and feels similar, but it's different in some very important ways. Syncing means when you add, change, or delete anything in a synced file, it is changed everywhere. Let me explain that by describing it. It's easier than the definition. So let's say, again, I'm sitting here and I type in a letter in my laptop and I'm saving it in a cloud syncing service like OneDrive. It is now in the cloud. So which means anybody else here can access it. That gives me that collaboration feature. I can access it from any of my devices. That's the other benefit. However, there is one copy of that file sitting up here that we keep accessing. And if I go to my phone and I access that file and I say, gosh, I don't need that on my phone, it's in the cloud, I'm going to delete it off my phone. If I delete it from my phone, I'm deleting that one copy that everybody was using. So it's gone from my desktop, it's gone from my laptop, it's gone from my phone. That's where people get confused. They think that the cloud is separate from their device. If you are syncing, there is one file, and whatever you do to it affects that one file, and it affects everybody using that one file. Questions about that one? That one's a little confusing. Yeah, Carol?
So like, if it's in the cloud and I pull it down to use it, am I using it on my hard drive when I make a change and throws it back in the cloud? Or I'm confused like how our device is in relationship to the document in the cloud.
Yeah, the way to think about it, and this isn't 100% technically correct, but it'll keep you from getting in trouble, is to think that, again, there is one copy, it's in the cloud. So even though I'm sitting here on my computer making changes, I'm making changes to the document in the cloud. That's the way to think about it. And that's why if I delete it, I've deleted the one copy that's in the cloud. And we'll talk about when we get a little deeper as to why that's not 100% correct. But if you think about it that way, you won't get in trouble. Does that make sense? Okay, all right. And same thing, if I'm sharing and I collaborate, and so I've got my document and I give you access to it, you go in there and delete half the document and mess up the other half, you've messed up the only copy. So you've messed up so you need to be very careful collaborating, sharing your files with other people because they're messing up the one and only copy of that file. So I very seldom share my file, I collaborate, give people editing rights. I give them view only rights. And we'll talk about that as well. But that's the other thing you have to be careful about. Sharing, because that is the one and only copy that they're working on as well as you.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Is it possible if you're working, you can back it up on like a flash drive?
Absolutely. And some people do that. They combine syncing and backing up. So I could have this laptop connected to a backup server and back it up here. So I've got a protected copy there. And so, and when I'm doing it, it's actually copying what's in the cloud up there. I can copy that up there as well. So if you share your file with me and I accidentally delete it, you can get it back off your Carbonite backup, put it back on the cloud. And so some people that are overly cautious or very cautious, I won't say overly cautious, do both. They have a backup cloud server and a syncing cloud server.
Right. Okay.
And you could do it on another physical device. You can keep a copy on your hard drive of what's in the cloud, but they're just not linked. When you change the cloud, when it doesn't change the one, it's like a backup. It's not, they're not linked. Yeah. Okay, Carol. Yeah.
So now I'm getting confused.
On the flash drive, it will back it up, and then you can always pull it back off the flash drive.
You could, yep. So you could back it up on a flash drive or instead of using Carbonite or some other backup service. Yep.
I got you. All right, thank you.
Yeah, Carol.
So now I'm getting confused. When you sync your contacts in your phone, is that the same idea? You only have one copy? Okay, that's not
Yep. If you're syncing and your contacts are in the cloud, then yes, there's one copy of your contact that all your devices are accessing. If you update that contact from any of your devices, it's immediately available to all the other devices. That's the good part of syncing. You don't want to have to go into each one of your devices and change the phone number on that contact. I change it up here and it's done. But again, if I delete that contact from any of these devices, it's deleted from all the devices. Yeah, you have to ponder on that one. And we're going to go over this more. Hopefully by the end of class, it will become a little clearer how that all works. And if not, but ask me more questions all the way through if it's still not making sense, because we're going to talk about it some more. And in some ways, I think OneDrive is easier to understand than iCloud, because OneDrive is purely syncing. iCloud does backups and syncing, and sometimes I think that gets people confused. OneDrive is purely syncing. So you don't have to think about which of the two am I doing. You're always syncing. Okay, let's drill down a little bit and see if we can make this a little clearer. So what is OneDrive? We've been talking generically about cloud storage. OneDrive is a cloud syncing service available to anyone with a Microsoft account. If you've got Windows 10, you've got OneDrive. If you're using Microsoft Office, Microsoft 365, you have OneDrive. And pretty much it is built into all of the Office programs. They're all built to work with OneDrive. They're actually built to work to default to OneDrive. It doesn't force you to use OneDrive all the time, but it's available all the time, and it works very well. I'll demo that for you as well in terms of how that works. But you can certainly use OneDrive with any of the Microsoft products, including email, your Outlook or your OneNote, as well as Excel, PowerPoint, and Windows. But you can also store and sync non-Microsoft files. So I can put a Windows file in there. I can download something from the internet and put it in there. I can put anything that I can put on my device into my OneDrive. So it's not just for Microsoft, but it works. It's built into Microsoft. Does that make sense? And I'll show you that as well. Hopefully, as I demo this stuff, it'll start to make sense. So we talked about one of the advantages is that you can access OneDrive from all your different devices and different locations. And I think this is one way to kind of start drilling some of this home. So let me show you the different ways I can get to my OneDrive. And the way most people access it most often is through their file management system. If you're on Windows, that's File Explorer. If you're on a Mac, it's Mac Finder. So I am on Windows, so I'm going to open File Explorer. And let's move it up here where you can see it. And actually, I'm going to move this over a little bit. And so it's not right on top of the slides. Oh, this is not that though, wrong one. Let me get the right file. It's hiding over on my other. There it comes. All right, there's File Explorer. And we don't need to solve that. So File Explorer has been around since we first started using computers. And so originally it was just this PC, and then everything you could access from your physical PC, your C drive. If you have a USB drive, I call them a thumb drive in there, like I have a thumb drive in, it's now the D drive. That's used to be everything that you had. Now, and you've got OneDrive as well. Here's my OneDrive. You can tell I use OneDrive a lot. I have lots of folders in there, but this is OneDrive. And OneDrive really, and what I like to say, and I think I've got a, okay, it's going to be on right here. I'm trying to grab this corner so I can drag this down. And, oh, come on. There it is. Okay. One way to think about OneDrive is that it's just like a USB drive, a thumb drive. Anything I could do with a thumb drive, I can do with OneDrive. So here's my OneDrive. If there's something I've downloaded to my computer and I want to put it in my OneDrive, I can just go to my downloads on my computer. And let's say I've got this PowerPoint presentation that I downloaded, and I want to put that in my OneDrive. I can just grab this and drop it in the OneDrive class. And that PowerPoint presentation is now in OneDrive. It's in my cloud storage. But I did it the same way I would have done if I was going to drop it into that thumb drive. You just drag it and drop it. Similarly, if I want to take something off of OneDrive, take this taco soup recipe and put it in my my downloads for whatever reason. I want to take it out of the cloud, put it down on my, let me put it in documents instead. It's probably a more likely place to put it. I've now pulled it off of the cloud, and it is now down here in my documents. There's Easy Taco Soup. Okay. Yep, Carol?
So sorry about all this, but
Yeah.
either I'm crazy or there's another cloud, but I had to upload it to some other cloud storage. Here it's like magic. It just, you don't have to upload it?
You don't if you're taking things off of your device and putting it into your drive. Now, when we look at it from a browser, we're going to do uploading and downloading. That may be what you're thinking about, especially if we're in the OneDrive iCloud class. But this is why this is very easy with the File Explorer, because it's what you've been doing forever. It's just you're now doing it in the cloud, but it's really kind of invisible that it's in the cloud. This could say thumb drive, and you'd be doing it the same way. Now, there's some other things it does that it doesn't. But when you're moving files around, managing files, creating folders, if I were to move something from one folder in the cloud to another one, it's just like I've always done. If I want to leave a copy in my documents, but have a copy in the cloud as well, instead of dragging and dropping, which moves it, I would just right click and copy and then go into iCloud and paste, just like you would do moving things around on your physical device. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So let's.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
Is OneDrive compatible with all browsers?
It
Right.
is. Yes. And we're going to go there in a couple of minutes. I'm going to go to a browser, but yes, any, you can, well, yeah, so far as I know, I'm always careful to say 100%. It works with Chrome and Firefox and Edge and all the major ones.
Okay, thank you.
I've never found one that it doesn't, but there may be one out there somewhere that it doesn't work with, but I would be surprised. But certainly all the major ones. Because I'm
Right,
using
thank
all
you.
three of those and it works fine on all three of them.
That sounds good.
All right, so let's
Thanks.
talk about the other way we said we can get to it is from any of the Microsoft Office products. So let me just get that out of the way for a minute. Let's go into Word and show you how that would work. So I can open up Word here and create a document. And now I want to save it. I'm going to hit, so I can save. And this is where it doesn't force me to use OneDrive. It makes it very easy to use OneDrive. But if I want to put this on my PC, Microsoft lets me put it on my PC. I can double click and it takes me back into File Explorer. But then I can put it on my PC and any of the files on my PC. I can put it in that thumb drive I've got if I want to put it in the thumb drive. But I want to put it in OneDrive. I'll just put it in my documents folder. And we're going to call this OneDrive 5, what's today, 13. So we can keep track of it and save it. So it is now saved in OneDrive. Let's bring this back up and go to Documents. And there's that document. And actually where I want it is over here in this Get Set Up OneDrive class. Not a problem. I'll just move it over there just like I would move anything. I can move things around in the cloud. Oop. Oh, it's open. I can't move it as long while it's open. Once I close a Word, I'll move it. Now, you notice this autosave up here. This is something that's new. It only came when OneDrive came around. If you store a file in OneDrive, you can automatically save it. So I don't have to hit save anymore. If I add another line and then close the document, it automatically saves it. Let me get up here, and now I should be able to move this down here to the OneDrive class folder. Let's sort these by date modified, so it'll be on the top. So there's that file. Let me open it back up, and there's that second line. I didn't lose it. So that's what autosave is. You can't autosave if it's on your device. You can only autosave if it's in OneDrive. And if you use Google Docs, Google Sheets, it does the same thing. So this is a case where Microsoft is emulating something that Google, I think, was the originator of. In Google, there is no save button. With Microsoft, you can still choose what you want to do. If I don't want autosave, I can turn it off. It is still in OneDrive, but now I have to save it. So it's your choice whether you're going to do autosave or not. I'm going to turn it back on so I don't forget.
Will it
Questions?
save it to the cloud and a flash drive at the same time?
No. You can't have two. You can't. Well, I could make a copy of this and put it on my flash drive, but it is a copy. So if I add a third line, it won't be on my flash drive. So those files won't be connected. It would be a backup. It would be a point in time copy of this file that you put on a thumb drive. Any changes I make to it after you make that copy are reflected in the cloud. They're not reflected on the thumb drive.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
So so you can have the file with the same name, two places. It's not the same file.
Right. I just wondering if you could sync both at the same time.
Nope, you can't sync two different locations.
Okay.
Yep, it is only syncing in the OneDrive, which is, and the way to think about it, it's in the cloud. This one's in the cloud. The other one would be on my thumb drive.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Good question. And now these are the questions that I think hope start to make it all make sense. All right. No other questions. I'm going to close down Word for now. We may go back again later and get this back out of the way. So that's two ways you can get to it, from File Explorer or from any of the Microsoft Office products. The third way is from your browser, and this is the really fun one. This is kind of the magic one. This is where I was talking about that if I happen to be at a hotel and I need access to my files, or maybe I'm at a friend's house and I want to get to my files, all I need is a computer with a browser and I can get to my files. So let's assume that I'm at my friend's house and I need to get access. So I go to his computer and I open a browser and I just click on Open Tab and type OneDrive.live.com. Now on his computer, it's going to make me enter my username and password. I'm already logged in to Microsoft on this computer, so it didn't ask me for my username and password. But I'm now in my OneDrive from this browser, wherever this browser is. It doesn't matter. It could be on a Mac at my friend's house. It doesn't even have to be on a Windows device. It's just got to be in a browser. Okay. And just kind of drive home the point. Let me bring this back up. And you can tell it's the same files. 325 Beaver Creek, Archive, BBC, CFCC, they're the same files. It has down here in the Get Set Up OneDrive class, it's got that file we just created today, OneDrive 513. So it is up to date, So in all cases, I'm pulling it off the cloud. So we're always looking at the same files with the same structure. What's nice about this, let's say that my friend's computer is a Mac and he doesn't have Microsoft, he doesn't have, I can still get to this file. What I can do is to say open. If this device has Word, like mine does, the Word program, I could open it in the Word program. If it doesn't, I can open it with Word Online, which is a online version of a browser-based version of Microsoft Office. So there it is. There's those two lines. I can add a third line from the browser. And it will save automatically. There is no save. I don't have to click save. I can close this down. I'll go back in later and we'll open this from somewhere else and you'll see that that line 3 is in there. And this is maybe what Carol, yeah, question?
I have a question,
Yeah,
Wade. This is Mary. And if this is not the time to ask it, but I seem to have trouble when I want to send from OneDrive and it goes out through Outlook or whatever, and people say they can't open the link or open the file. So at some point, can we show how to send those files?
Yeah, remind me. It's not something I normally go over. We can go over that at the end of class, though. And I haven't done that, so I haven't had that problem you're talking about. But we can maybe recreate it. But yeah, don't let me forget it because we'll have time for some other questions a little later on. Now, this is where I think Carol was asking about. Now, let's say I'm at my friend's house and I show him this document and he says, that's a great document. Can I get a copy of that? So this is where I can download that to his computer. Just by clicking download, it will take that out of my cloud and put it on the device that this browser is running from. Or maybe my friend has a document on his device that I want a copy of. I can click upload and it will open File Explorer or Mac Finder if it's a Mac. And I can go down there and get whatever I want to upload. Let's say I want to upload Wade's favorite recipes. There it is. So I've now uploaded it to the cloud from his computer to my cloud, but it's now available from any device that I can get to my cloud from. Questions about accessing from the browser? Okay. And we can come back to any of these if you have questions as we're going along. But let's go back to my slides. And the last thing is from my phone. So let's go over to my phone. Here's OneDrive on my phone. And this is an iPhone. So you can put it on an iPhone, an Android, whatever. Just go to the App Store and download OneDrive. And I can go into OneDrive and here's those same hang on a second. I'm in the wrong app. I went into files instead of OneDrive. I hit the wrong one. There we go. That looks better. So again, this looks like these. Same files, same folders. I can come down to get set up OneDrive class where we were before. I'm going to close this, get it out of the way. There's that document we've been working on, updated 4 minutes ago. If I've also downloaded the Word app to my phone, I can actually open it. And there you can see there's that third line. I could add a fourth line from here. It will save it to the cloud. But there's that third line we put in from the browser. It's there in my documents. So from if you've got the app on a device, or you can get to a browser, or if it's got Windows running on it, you can get to your OneDrive. questions about any of that accessing from different locations? Okay. All right, let's keep going. There's more to tell. Yeah.
Real quickly,
Uh-huh.
so when you update something in the cloud, does it automatically update on your devices?
Yeah, and we're gonna clarify this a little bit more, but for now, let's give you a half truth, and we'll give you the whole truth later. But the way to think about it, and the safe way to think about it, is what it does. It puts a shortcut in here. So if I created a file, and we created this file earlier in the class, it put a shortcut on my phone to that file in the cloud. You know, it didn't put the file down here. It put a shortcut to the file. And so I can click this, and when I click this, it goes and accesses that file in the cloud. That help? Yeah. So that's why it's here. And we're going to dig into that a little bit deeper in a couple of minutes. I'll just mention this in passing because you may have noticed it. There is this little camera down here, and let me even go to the top. So I'm not using that, but you can automatically back up your photos from your phone to OneDrive if you want to use it for your photo backups. Just click there and turn it on, and then it will update all your photos to OneDrive. I'm backing mine up to Google Photos, so I don't put it here as well. But that is an option if you want to automatically save your photos. Okay, let's talk about sharing. That was the third big benefit I've talked about. I'm going to slide this over a little bit more for now. Well, I probably shouldn't have done that. Let's move this back. I'm going to do it from OneDrive. I can do it from the browser as well, but I'll do it from File Explorer. So let's say I want to share this document we've been working on. So I'm trying to get this a little bit center of the screen. So let's go to that document we created today, and I want to share this. I'm just going to do a right click and share. First, I have to tell it, what can the person I'm sharing with do? We were talking about this earlier. Do I want to let them edit my document, or do I want to give them read-only access? Normally, I give people read-only access. That way, if they want a copy of that file, they can get read-only access to mine, do a save as. Now they've got a copy. They can edit their copy to their heart's content. I don't want them monkeying around with my copy. But if I am working together with someone else, then I would allow them to edit it. I can also set an expiration date. So if I'm going to let them edit it, I may want to say, I'm going to give you access for a week, and then you can't get to it anymore. So any changes you need to make, go ahead and get those changes made, and then I'm locking you out again. So maybe that person may be working on with it with a family member. You're creating a list of something. They got some things to add to the list. Instead of them sending it to you and you have to enter it in yourself, you can say, well, let me share this with you for a couple of days. Go in there, add it. But then I don't trust you long-term, so I'm going to pull it back in a week. And if it's something confidential, you can actually even put a password on it so that you'd have to get the link and the password to get into it. If you're sending a copy of your will or whatever, something is fairly confidential, you can add that layer of confidentiality as well. I'm going to take it back to view only, and they can view it as long as they want to because they can't hurt it anyway. So I'm going to apply that. So now anyone with the link can only see it. And then I can just enter here who I'm going to send it to. So I just put in the email of the person. If it's in my contacts, it will pop up when you put it in there. If it's not in your contacts, as long as it's a valid email address, that'll work. Then I can add another one. So if I'm going to send it to several people, I can add 2 or 3 people here, type in a message, what they're supposed to do with it or why they're getting it, and hit send. If I'm going to share it with a lot of people, I would probably want to get a link instead. If I click here, it'll put a link in my, it'll copy the link. Then I can go to my email and send it to a bunch of people, or if I want to post it to my Facebook group or post it other places, I can get there. You want to walk? Okay, bye, darling. Okay, bye, darling. So I just hit send. They'll get an email with a link to that file, and they can click on it to access the file and do whatever I've given them rights to do. Questions about sharing?
Yes, this is when I get in trouble because
Okay.
I'll do it like that, but then I get this message back. I don't have a password for the link, and I don't ever set it for a password or stuff like that. And I will allow editing on some of those, but if I just put view, it seems that they can't open it, and I just can't figure out why.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'll go ahead and send this one, but I've never.
Had that problem. Okay, don't worry about it for everybody else. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I thought maybe it was a bug that was just there, but that one went fine, it looks like.
Yep, good. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Yep, sorry.
I have another question, Wade.
Okay, Edmund.
Sorry. Talking about emails. I have my emails on my iPhone, my tablet, and laptop. Is there any way I can, and I supposing they were all synced together, but when I go to delete one, it doesn't delete them off the other devices. So I end up having to actually delete 3 different devices if I want to get rid of the email.
If you're using Outlook and they're all running on OneDrive, it should automatically sync those. So, earlier versions of Outlook would run off of your C drive. So I'm wondering if you've got it running off your C drive instead of off of OneDrive, because it'll only sync if you're storing it in OneDrive.
Probably that's the problem.
That's what my gut feel is. Yeah.
Okay,
And Mary, I have one.
I'll get back to you and try to get some more help with that.
Yeah, let me know if that worked. And Mary, I had one thought too.
Thank you. I would.
You could do the link, maybe try sending the link instead of doing the email. So if you go into, go here and copy the link and then just paste it into your email and send it via that way and see if maybe that will work.
Yeah. Well, I was like, you get a lot of spam emails sometimes, and I just want to get them off, but they're all on to all the devices. So maybe I want to delete that particular email off all my devices.
Yeah, if they're all using OneDrive, it should work. So but prior to OneDrive, Outlook was around before OneDrive was. So earlier versions of Outlook worked off the C drive, and I think you had to change it to point it to OneDrive once OneDrive came out. So that's my guess. Yours is still pointing to OneDrive.
Yes, I'll change over to OneDrive and see it.
Okay. All right. A couple other things I want to show you. Checking the time here. We're about to run out, but we're just about done anyway. This is a feature which OneDrive has that I really like. And it's a way to free up space on your computer. And this is where, when I was saying, think about the fact that it's only in the cloud, and I was saying that's not 100% correct. So I hope this doesn't confuse you more, but this is an important thing to know about. And so I'm gonna go back to File Explorer, and we're going to here. And you've got this little status here. And then what this status icon tells me is where this file is. And so if it says cloud, this means it is only on the cloud. What's on my computer is just that shortcut we were talking about. But if it's got a check mark, in this case, both of these have a white circle with a green check mark, it means there's a copy on my computer as well. And there's some reasons you might want to do that. And let's say, for example, I'm going to the Senior Center to do a presentation, and I want to show this PowerPoint slide deck when I get there. And if I'm going to use this one, what is psychology? Is going to be the what I'm going to teach. And I get to the Senior Center and their internet's down. Their router crashed. If it's just in the cloud, I don't do a presentation because I can't get to the cloud without internet. So I'm out of luck. What I can do with OneDrive is I can just do a right click and say, keep on this device. And you'll watch it's doing a little circle thing. It's copying it down. And now there's a copy on my device. I can go to the Senior Center. If their internet's down, no problem. I've got a copy here. Okay. But everything we said about syncing is still true. So even though there's a copy on my computer, if I delete it, I delete the one on my computer and the one on the cloud. So just because it's on my computer, that link is still there. So everything I said is still true. It just gives me the advantage that I can get to it if I don't have internet. In fact, if I delete it when I'm not connected to the internet, as soon as I connect to the internet, it's going to go delete that one. So all the aspects of syncing still hold, but you do have control over where, if you've got just a shortcut on your computer or you've got a copy. It's always in the cloud. You may or may not have a copy on your computer. One reason to put it in the cloud is to save space. If it's in the cloud, it's not taking up space on my computer. And if I'm just about out of space, when I get back from doing my presentation, I can go to this same file that I downloaded, right click again, say free up space. It's going to take it off my computer. Now it's just in the cloud again. And I can do that at the file level or at the drive level. I can come over here. I got the same options. I can say free up space or keep on the device. If I say that, it'll do that for every file in that folder. Questions about that one?
No.
Oh, and speaking of icons, this little icon tells me that it's been shared. That's what that one is. One other thing, I'm going to bring this one down to the device again. And again, this gets a little confusing too, so stay with me and ask questions. If I got two different kind of check marks. I got a white circle with a green check mark, and I got a green circle with a white check mark. In both cases, there's a copy on my device. The difference is, in this case, I said, always keep it on this device. So I explicitly said, download it and keep it. With these, this is the device. This is the one we created in class. It doesn't say always keep on this device. By default, it does put a copy on the device. And when it puts a copy on the device, it has this icon. What this allows OneDrive to do is that if I'm starting to run out of space on my C drive, it will take any of these white circles and move them to the cloud for me to free up space automatically. So it controls my space, but it can't, if I've got a green circle, it can't move that one. I would have to do that one manually. So I've taken control away from OneDrive for these. If I have a whole bunch of ones with this white circle, and again, if I'm running out of space, OneDrive will clear up that space by moving these to the cloud. Did I just now confuse everybody more? It's a very nice feature though, where it will free up space automatically for you. Okay, and we are just about out of time. Yeah, and this is just, I just told you all this. This is just showing you those three check marks and how that works. All right, so that was everything I was going to cover. We got 1 minute. Anybody have a question for the last minute? Hopefully this made more sense than it did early. And if not, you're certainly welcome to take the class again, or certainly get a copy of the recording and watch it again. So we've got 5 minutes. So let me go ahead and close down and get you out of here in time to get to your next class. So that is the end of the class. I do hope you enjoyed the class and hope that you've learned more about OneDrive. I love OneDrive, as you can tell. It's a great tool. There's a couple of related classes. There's an Understanding the Cloud class. This is pretty new. This class has only been out there for, I think, 2 weeks. And it really is a nice precursor to this class. This is more of a generic. It talks about cloud drives in general, but it also compares and contrasts OneDrive, iCloud, Google Drive, and Dropbox. So it's more of a generic background class. So it's if you're still a little hazy about some of those cloud concepts, this is a great class. And then OneNote is my favorite note-taking tool. That is Microsoft's note-taking tool. So there's a class on organizing with OneNote. And we do have classes for iCloud and Dropbox and Google Drive as well. So we've got classes for all 4 of the cloud drives, as well as this generic Understanding the Cloud class. So in closing, after class, you will get an email, and there's several sections to the email. There'll be some class notes, and as part of those class notes, there'll be links to some websites that will have some information that we covered in class and some related information that we didn't cover in class. So if you want to check those links, if you want to do a little more independent research, I'll include links to those related classes in the email as well. So if you're interested in that Understanding the Cloud class, you can just click on that link in the email and go straight to that class. If you want to recommend this class to a friend, and we would love for you to do that, you can post a link on Facebook or send a link via email. There will be links to 3 other classes that you hopefully would be interested in. If you are, just click on the link. It'll take you to the registration page for that class. The Give Feedback link opens our feedback form. Only 2 questions. How you want to rate the class, 1 to 5 stars. How do you want to rate the guide, 1 to 5 stars? Done. We would love you to put some comments about why you gave us those ratings. It's not required, but greatly appreciated. We hope you're enjoying being part of the Get Set Up community. And if you are, there's some other ways you can get involved. If you would like to participate in or host an interest group, we're trying to get some interest groups started in the tech side. So for example, I think a cloud interest group would be a great interest group where you can get together with other people, talk about how you're using the clouds, problem you're having with the cloud. So if you're interested in starting a class like that or being part of a class like that, just let us know, help@getsetup.io. If there's a new class you'd like us to teach, or if you belong to an organization you think would be a good partner for us, or if you want a copy of this recording, same email address, help@getsetup.io. The last link takes you to our website where you can book another class. So yeah, a couple of things quickly in the 2 minutes left I've got. There is a link in the center of the screen to your schedule. If you click that, it takes you to the classes you've booked. You can launch the class when it's time to take the class from here. If you need to cancel that class, you can cancel the class from here. Just click cancel, provide a reason why you're canceling it, and submit. And that frees up that seat for someone else. If you're interested in a particular class or a particular category of classes, you can always search. I think this is the easiest way to find classes myself. This is what I use. If I'm looking for some other cloud classes, I can just type cloud. There's that Understanding the Cloud class I was talking about, Apple iCloud, Apple iCloud Photos, Dropbox. So we've got quite a lot of cloud-based classes now. I'll click on Understanding the Cloud. And so there's that class. You can book the class. The last thing is if there's a guide or guides that you are interested in and you want to see what they're going to be teaching for the next 2 weeks, because our schedule does pretty much go on a 2-week rolling schedule. You can put their name in here. I put my name in, and you can see what they're going to be teaching for the next 2 weeks and just kind of scroll through. And if you see something you want to take, you can just click on that class. and hit book. Last thing, and I'm going to get you out of here just in time. We have added a new feature in the book where you can invite a friend. So if you do want to invite a friend to come to that future class you're going to be taking, the same class, put their email here and click send, or copy the link and you can paste it to your own email or put it in Facebook, wherever you want to send it. Okay, so I do want to thank you for coming. Hope you enjoyed the class and learned some things, and certainly hope I see you again in a class really soon. Thanks, everybody, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye now.
All right, everybody.
Bye now. Let me know if that works, Evan. All right.
I will wait. Thanks.
Okay. Bye now.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.